There's a natural thing, like in the cops on the scene. When you break out and you see, life is all but a dream, yeah. Thought my skin was a place, feel like touch the universe, the earth, where I lay my feet, my mind surrounds me, yeah. Trials and tribulations, but I'm in the moment. Watch it all unfolding. When they ask my age, I just say it's golden. I had questions and I look within. Sometimes that's all you got. That's all you got. Say that shit.
What's up, beautiful people? It's the Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com. Today, we're going to take a left turn and do something different. Not really too different, it's just still me talking, but we're going to discuss something different in a different format. Today, I'm not going to be discussing astrology. Today, I'm going to be discussing something of a spiritual and sublime nature. And how I know it's spiritual, because it was given to me in different inclinations and different situations where I'm just jolted awake and awoken to different celestial positionings and things of that nature. And so basically it's a spiritual download with a lot of existential proof to support. So generally what it may feel like is me pulling something out of thin air. And that's the reality. But as I'm pulling things out of thin air, I'm actually shown why I'm pulling it out of thin air. And so from that's what this talk is about today. And so the title of this video is trauma and its effects on society, whether we have Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, and now Cardi B. What the society at large, or the whatever you call them, know is that we as a society have unresolved trauma. And they know exactly how that unresolved trauma behaves. They know, but you don't know. So therefore, I find that this conversation is pertinent, because what happens is this shit is really happening, whether we're talking about, molestation, human trafficking, prostitution, date rape towards men and women, men getting taken advantage of, women getting taken advantage of, men getting violated, women getting violated. Please, as a man, say for instance you don't know how to fight and some big guy approaches you. That's traumatic for a guy, the same as it's a traumatic for you ladies. So what we need to understand about trauma is that it is non-local. And if we're going to open ourselves up to consciousness and speak about consciousness, then we have to draw a definitive line in the sand. everything that me and my wife do, of course, is for our own personal benefit because we have children, and when it comes to feeding them, when it comes to clothing them, when it comes to housing them, it's just easier for us to provide that for them. But when it comes to past that, we are a wellspring of spirituality in the space that we give without wanting anything in return in a certain space. Because our development, it wasn't never for us to say, hey y'all, look at us. We spiritual. We got ankhs. We got beads on, crystals. You know, we say namaste. We say hotep. We sit down on our left butt cheek instead of our right butt cheek because that's what the oppressors made us do. Sit down with both of our butt cheeks. But ancient African tradition teaches us to use the left butt cheek instead of the right butt cheek, or whatever nonsense aesthetic that you can create in the paradigm of what is called the conscious community. But in the idea of a conscious community, we have to understand how to deal in that conscious community. And if we are to have a community and not discuss trauma, then we're going to be dealing with some particular limit. So I'm going to do a full little rundown of the channel where it's a beginning, middle, and the end, meaning there's a problem, how we solve a problem, and then the ultimate solution. And understand that I don't know why I'm talking about this other than it was given to me to talk about. And why do I say that it was given me to talk about? This started this morning, actually. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning, actually. I just woke up, I jilted up, I went to sleep late. My wife just got back from out of town and we had a lot of catching up to do. And so y'all just don't know. I wish I would. It's just crazy. But we had already set up the idea that we were going to go to Serpent Mound on Tuesday a week ago to do our offerings. We are doing full-fledged offerings this year. I think everything that we either are going to be doing is selling at festivals or doing offerings. And when I mean offerings, I don't know about my wife completely, you know, because I'm not in her brain. I can only speak for myself. When I walk into these sacred spaces, I am only thinking about the gratitude for this moment to be able to give thanks when the whole world is thinking about their own personal shit. I'm thinking about nature and what it has provided me up until this point. And so to go to these bodies, because I live in North America, and North America, quiet as kept, has some of the oldest bodies of water known to man. And it could be said that the Bible was actually written about America because the King James Version was released in 1609, and it's literally an American book. It's an American folktale. So when you think about space and location, if I say, you know, River Street you live on River Street now, but you tell me, no, I live on Main Street, but I come there and I own the city and I change that shit to River Street. Guess what that street name is now? In your heart is Main Street, or, you know, whatever, but I changed it to River Street. So this is the reality that we live in. And when we talk about trauma and when we talk about melanated people, we are talking about being displaced in our own ancestral land. So you can talk about being shipped to Africa on a slave boat, which is its trauma within itself, but I'm not in Brazil. I'm not in the Caribbean islands. I'm not in parts of South America. I'm in North America. I'm in the United States. And the majority of Indian civilizations, Indian tribes, their classification was changed from Indian to colored, to Negro, to black. And I'm not saying this to argue with you. I'm saying this to say, let's just use our imagination, because if we're going to talk about the slave ship, guess what we're using when we reference that? We're using our imagination. So let's just use our imagination and say that this is our land. Let's just try to imagine that at some level, maybe an Indian had sex with your African grandmother. Therefore, your creation, your life is part Indian now, if you just want to look at it from that perspective. But whatever perspective that you have, you're not a part of the invading party that is the perpetuator of trauma, that is the institutor of trauma. Your ass is the recipient of trauma. So it do not matter how many Benzes you have, how big your house is, how much followers you have, how good your life is going at this moment, how lit your party was last Saturday. All of that is irrelevant. And so I woke up, mind you, I don't know, I guess before I went to sleep or a little bit before I was asleep, like we was going to the mounds and we was doing our offerings and things of that nature, and I was just, you know, I get on my wife's nerves, y'all. So I'm just talking to her about trauma the whole time. Like, I'm just trauma. Like, I'm really trying to factor it in, like, because I understand trauma in a sense. When something traumatic happens to you, you suppress it. To the point where I deal with countless individuals who feel that something is going wrong with them. They just can't pinpoint it. Therefore, this conversation is definitely for the person who got their money together, got their life together, got their morals intact. You ain't robbed nobody to get to where you at. Everything about your situation is ideal. But it's still something that you're like, you just, nah. It's just not, it ain't, you can't put your finger on it. And I seen us, and this is actually taken from Jeremiah, but this is actually taken from a different chapter. And in studying Jeremiah, it was interesting because I found some comparisons to Jeremiah to myself. And an interesting thing, I had a real close friend growing up, one of my really closest friends growing up, and his name was actually Jeremiah. And so I guess that's beyond the point. The verse read, I see a branch of an almond tree. And I replied, the Lord said to me, you have seen correctly, for I'm watching to see that my word is fulfilled. Now, you got to imagine me at 3 o'clock in the morning in the way that this is written. It's written in first person singular, so it's I and the Lord said to me. And I'm a crazy ass nigga. Like I just take shit to the extreme. So when I see the branch of an almond tree, my ass knew I literally seen the branch of an almond tree. So I'm like, I replied. And the Lord said to me, you have seen correctly, for I am watching to see that my word is fulfilled. And so I'm just like, And trust me, don't get it too twisted. It ain't like I'm a Christian or nothing. But when you talk about prophecy and prophet and just understanding shit, man, I didn't search for this. It literally searched for me, because if I can understand what's being said more than I see a branch of an almond tree, and niggas is really like, well, where the fuck is the almond tree at, and where's the branch? And then if I see a pot that is boiling, and so me and my wife literally seen a pot that is boiling, but if we looked up the etymology or the concordance to that, it's literally a cauldron that is steaming. And so we literally just came from a whole day of a steaming cauldron that is tilting toward us from the north. And so generally we were at Serpent Mound, and it's literally a crater. That's where we were at. It's a meteor site. So we was just tapped all up into the energy, and from the north, disaster will be poured out on all who live in the land. And so disaster just encapsulated trauma. So what am I talking about? That almond-shaped tree branch that I saw, that I knew exactly what I saw, was the amygdala. And the amygdala is the part of the brain that processes emotions. And this is very important when you talk about that chronic pain, the pain that you literally inherited. Because that chronic pain is not acute pain. It's not, see, acute pain, it triggers in the brain in the pain centers. So you put a Band-Aid on it, throw a little alcohol on it, you good. Chronic pain, you can't really do that. It's like, let's put Uncle James in the back of the car and take him to the hospital and let somebody that's a professional deal with this, because I can't do this. I gotta go to work. See, that's chronic pain. So when we talk about a community and we talk about coming together, I want to be in a relationship with you. You cute to me, you sexy. But that chronic pain that we all experience that you don't see almost until it's too late is because you've been constantly feeding your amygdala with negative emotions based upon one specific thing. You have not dealt with or addressed the trauma. How could you? If you're not taught about it in school, you're taught to get good grades. You're taught to be the best person that you can be. And then you feel as though your personal life of not achieving a status that you really, really wanted to achieve, you didn't make it. You didn't win that lawsuit. You didn't get the girl. You think that's trauma. But what about your whole entire legacy being destroyed by a motherfucker who wanted to build a shopping mall so niggas could go to Outback Steakhouse on a Saturday, so they just push your whole family out this motherfucker for a steak and shake? And not just you, your wife, your grandmother, your grandfather, and not just them people that you know. This shit is about to affect your children, their children after that, their children after that, their children after that. And you want to tell me how you didn't fucking, you got evicted because you didn't pay your rent, or your boyfriend broke up with you. See, you not even really focusing on the real problem or the real issue, because society, like I said, the makers of this society know exactly how this shit works. That's why every 2 weeks, like clockwork, it's a motherfucking scapegoat for you to project. your insecurities, your deficiencies. Like, imagine how many people sit on TV, sit on the internet, and be like, ooh, Cardi B, ooh, Cardi B, ooh, Cardi B, ooh, Cardi B. Like, come on now. What is dogging that girl? What is throwing R. Kelly? Put R. Kelly in jail for 50 years. How is your life going to be better? Bill Cosby, old ass, in jail right now making breaks. Your ass still gotta wake up in the morning and go to work. So tell me how. And little girls is still getting kidnapped because, believe it or not, it's not the celebrities that's doing the evil shit in the world today. Y'all don't be having the same energy towards the people that's actually perpetuating all types of shit. But let a TMZ report or just the mere fact of the internet, just Google Cardi B and you about to see literally thousands, if not millions of pages talking about the same goddamn video where two consenting adults got into some wild shit cause whatever happened, ain't nobody pressed no charges on her. So therefore, here we are again, casting blame, not dealing with our trauma. And I'm just bringing up Cardi B because she's just another example. And 2 weeks from now, it's going to be Ray J. A month from now, it's going to be, they going to bring somebody up from the dead, like they did Teddy Pendergrass. Then they did Whitney Houston. Like Whitney Houston was gay. Teddy Pendergrass dealt with transvestites. Michael Jackson, he touched on little boys. These motherfuckers dead and gone. They ain't touching on nobody. But that's my enemy. Obviously, it's somebody deeper, and they playing a deeper game than you niggas could ever realize. They are literally casting a shadow over your world, and you can't even see because you want to be good. It's like a prison came over your entire universe. You acknowledge that this prison is here, and instead of freeing yourself from the prison, you want to get a big ass house in the prison. You want to have children in the prison. You want to get a car so you can drive around the prison and everybody see you in this nice ass car in these prisons. Interstates, streets, houses represent prison, represent colonialism. Your life is not based upon that. Your DNA, your makeup is not based upon structure. You based upon freedom, enjoyment, love, happiness. Nothing about your DNA says wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, go to sleep at 5 o'clock so you can make sure that you're a productive member of society. All of this is stress, all of this is trauma, and this is not a you problem, this is a us problem. And if we're gonna relate to people, this is why I don't not deal with people, but you literally have to talk to me. People want me to just be like, oh, come on in, open arms, I'm just this cool nigga on YouTube, which I am. But you gotta talk to me. I need to see that deeper shit, like you not holding shit back. Because once you start to talk to people and really get deep with people, they don't want to return your phone calls. But shit, if I'm like, yo, let's go out, let's do this, let's kick it, you know, let's have a good time. Oh, Hood Mystic, you that nigga, we have a good time with you. But no, I need to see that trauma. I need to see those scars, because that's the shit that we need to heal. Because if we not gonna heal that shit, I guarantee you gonna sabotage the shit that I'm trying to build. So many times I've done this. I've been the bleeding heart man. I love you. I care about you, and all of that. But see, I didn't understand PTSD. It was a lot of things that happened before I decided to love that woman. It was a lot of things that happened before I decided to make friends with that man. And so from that, you know, he don't trust me. She don't trust me. And I'm out here just showing all this love, giving all this goodness. But shit, within them, They have trauma that they have not processed. And you are a ticking time bomb. You are a ticking time bomb. I don't care about your business that you're trying to create. I don't care about the moves that you're trying to make, because you're not dealing with the fact that your daddy left you. You're not dealing with the fact that you was connected to somebody and they died. So you rationalize that and you cope. Oh, I need to get drunk. Oh, I need to go out. Oh, I need to get this. And if I get this, I'm going to be happy. You done got it, had it, then lost it, got it back again, your ass still not happy. It gotta be something deeper. It gotta be something better. It gotta be something realer. And I swear to you, if I'm wrong, tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me that it's not the trauma that we don't need to address. Tell me it's the money. Or tell me it's the pussy or the sex or whatever. And show me some quotes. You know, back it up. Because where I'm at, how far I'm at, and what I'm realizing is that there is unresolved trauma. This is PTSD, and trauma is a non-local entity. Just like consciousness is an organism, trauma is an organism. And if consciousness is representative of God, then trauma is representative of the devil, and it will fuck up anything that you try to create. You don't know what it's like to build with a person. And reach that apex, but that person is afraid of success, and they start arguing with you. What the fuck you mean? It's the show. Like, calm down, we gotta do this show. No, fuck that. You stepped on my shoe, nigga. Like, what, you tripping over me stepping on? Yeah, you shouldn't be stepping on my shoe. These new shoes, I gotta do the show. You know what? Fuck this, I'm out. And you sitting there like, what the fuck? And if you like me, this shit happened over and over and over and over again. Like, damn, is it me? Yeah, it's you. You got unresolved trauma of maybe not falling in love. So this is the image that you have. I never fell in love. Nobody's ever loved me. Here I come. Baby, I love you. You the best girl I ever had. I really do love you. It does not fucking matter. You know, I could come up this bitch in all gold, flying through the air, walking on water, you know, and then turn around, reach my hand out to you. Come go with me. All muscly and shit. If you don't have that trauma cleared out, you'll be like, that's too much gold, nigga. I ain't about to fly with you. No, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. How many times, fellas, how many times have you really loved a woman? You like, man, she pretty. She this, she that, man, now I'm doing too much. Now I'm calling too much. Now I'm paying you too much attention. That trauma, because deep down she know you gonna cheat on her, you gonna beat her like the other nigga, and you was raised in church. Whatever that mean. You got a good family. Unresolved trauma though, it'll ruin everything. Cause it's always, you always thinking, you know what? Something bad about to happen. And that feeling of something bad is about to happen, which I've uncovered, it might not be nothing. Like, if you feel like something bad about to happen, that shit is completely internal. Because we could be on the vibration of something good is about to be happening, and we could start creating and moving into that space. Something good about to happen between us. I don't know what it is, but let's combine our talents and let's see where this is gonna go. Because I just feel something good is about to happen. Shit, that don't got nothing to do with the external world, my nigga. You gotta develop that shit within you in your relationships. Everywhere you go, something good is about to happen. But see, you can't even get to that point because of that trauma. And I know I'm bringing it up, but I got a solution. Don't worry. I got a solution. This ain't gonna be no long video. I know y'all got things to do. Gotta go to work in the morning. So I'm gonna finish up, man. I'm gonna move to some solutions. Because to my melanated, displaced, if you just don't even know who you are, you don't even know your story, because all your mama ever told you to do, go to school, go to college, get a good job, take care of your money, don't do this, don't do that, because you know what that mean. If you do that, you ain't that. I ain't raised you like that. What the fuck you mean? You ain't raised me like that. Jung spoke to it that morality will not save us from these dark and menacing evil forces that come from the collective unconscious. So all of the things that we try to suppress in ourselves, guess what? You see it in other people. You might see somebody being afflicted by some shit that's going on within you. And you might see your brother and sister suffer. And you know you're responsible for it, but you not physically, you didn't do it, but you hold in that energy. Because the reality is we dealing with great sorceresses, warlocks, magicians, and that's a talent, that's a skill, but you got trauma, so you using it to kill and hurt your own brother and sister, meaning it's a whole creator of a matrix that you live inside of that's destroying you by the very nature of you being inside of it. You can direct your energy to free your brother and sister out of this matrix, but since y'all in this matrix killing y'all say fuck it, and y'all don't even know the enemy, so y'all attack each other. And this is on an emotional level, mental level. Shit, niggas done beat me up, shot at me. I done fought niggas, but I done beat up niggas. You know what I'm saying? I done thought to do wrong to other people based upon being in this matrix, or quote unquote the hood. The hood is literally a cover. Like if I'm under the hood, then I can't see what else is going on around me. So I'm in this dark ass hood, and so literally I'm just bumping into niggas and all of this crazy shit. And that's not our story. That is a condition based upon a misunderstanding of our reality, a condition based on the misunderstanding of our trauma. Because if you uncover all of the insecurity, all of the body insecurity, all of the toxic behaviors that you are literally destroying yourself with, it is a beautiful, wonderful, loving, supportive, constructive member of the community. That is you. And it's like, damn, I hear you, but I ain't even there. That's cool. But this is the world that we live in. We don't live in a world where everything that you feel or every perspective that you hold stays the same. I would go as far as to say that every perspective that you ever will hold, every situation that you ever will come in across will change. So I'll go so far as to say that everything that you fucking experience is changing. I'll say that that's the literal law. So anybody putting you into a matrix where, okay, this has to be the same, this has to be forced, rigid, and fixed, that person is your goddamn warden, and you need to separate yourself from that person, because your spirit is telling you something different. Your spirit is telling you be free. Your spirit is telling you be you. Like, I love my wife, but I want my wife to do everything her spirit inspires her to do. And I want to be able to do that too. And I feel like, of course, you could do that alone, but it's so beautiful if you could grow that connection between two people. And this isn't something that is like, okay, two normal motherfuckers, we gonna have a beautiful relationship together. Oh no. Shit, me and my wife, we did this shit together. We was caterpillars together. We was crawling on the ground together, and we did this cocoon shit together. my personal cocoon, her personal cocoon, because she had trials and tribulations. I had trials and tribulations. We stand here today as individuals, grown adult individuals who have overcome the shit that used to plague us like a motherfucker. I can't even walk outside the door because I got migraines this bad. My insecurity is so deep. I don't even want to go outside. I got the same dirty ass shoes on. My wife had told you the first time I met my wife. The reason I my trauma was deep. You feel me? And my wife was like, I want to meet you. I really want to meet you. I really want to hang out. We could just meet at the park. And I'm just like, shit. My shoes is dirty. like my shoes is dirty. And I done went on dates with dirty shoes before. And it turned them off. You know what I'm saying? I don't, we having a good conversation. I don't want you to look at me no type of way, but I got these 2 kids. I'm going through shit, and I ain't bought no shoes in forever. My wife told me, she was like, something to the effect like, I just want to see you. I really don't care about your shoes. But when she said it, I felt it, and it allowed me to open up my heart, because as a black man, I'm judged constantly. I have to be a certain way just so people don't think that I'm gonna hurt them. And that's not even on my heart. That's not even on my spirit. I be just in my mind. I don't, if I'm not smiling, if I'm not presenting myself in a certain way, I'm a threat. So to deal with a person to be like, well, I'm not threatened by you, nor am I judging you, it allowed me to grow. And it was something that I wanted to reciprocate, because I felt that. And of course, me and my wife collectively have negative experiences in the dating realm. It's been a challenge. Me and my wife collectively have had challenges in life. But through the support of one another, through the community of one another, we're able to cultivate ourselves and cultivate our talents. And we're not the same people before we met each other. And we've had an open and honest dialogue. We've developed a friendship before a relationship. We didn't even talk about sex in the first beginnings of our relationship, and it wasn't even a thing. It wasn't even a pressure. It was like, I have somebody that I can be myself with, and that's hard to find. And so when we get to the conscious community and, thinking about, because the reason why I bring all of this up is because if we're going to discuss consciousness, then there is not my consciousness. There isn't your consciousness. Consciousness is like air. It is. And we all need it. To exist, consciousness, to be aware of our surroundings, and what we are aware of is a prison. It does not matter who has much money in the prison if they are in the prison, and we do not free ourselves being individuals. We free ourselves by connecting. But we can't connect if we don't go through that cocoon phase, if we don't go through that growth, if we don't develop that consciousness. See, all of this shit that you thought it was, when you thought it was about, it ain't about that. You thought that you was gonna come into this shit, Google magic spell for money, learn the spell. And see, the shit was that niggas was so lazy. that I could tell you how to do a magic spell, like what to do, and niggas would be like, I'm watching this video and my subconscious is picking up on the shit that this dude is doing, so I'ma somehow attract the money.
That's the same as saying taking shit. So
yeah. I'm doing this group money ritual. I just need y'all to donate $50 to it. That's the ritual within itself. You ain't gonna manifest shit. You just gave up $50 because you gullible and you don't know that you supposed to do your own work. We live in an abundant world, full of nature, full of abundance, full of promise, full of prosperity, but we need to access it, and how we access it is through gratitude. And so I bring up the caterpillar and the butterfly for anybody on this live, anybody that's watching who has the particular thought that I can't, or I'm not, or I don't, or I won't, and I'm just not able to, because, you know, I mean, I hear you, Hood Mystic, but you though, like, you are, you've been, you know, you're special, like, nigga. I feel like I'm really purging and purifying myself of all of the broke energy that I've accumulated throughout my life, man. I would be well suited if I didn't have such a fucked up experience in this plane. It's been so tough, and I never thought that I would find happiness. I never thought that I would have a family with 3 beautiful children, with a wife that was supporting me, and we like got our own future in our hands, and we starting a business. And I never thought that I would be living my wildest dreams. I always thought that I was gonna struggle. I always thought that I was gonna have the shitty hand. I never thought, like, I have my own clothing line. I make my own clothing line. I make my own hats, like my own fucking wristbands. I'll be fucking in shock of myself, cause I'm without consciousness, I'm not shit. I'm like, if you look at me like, oh, I like what you doing, or you this, or like you hating on me, or anything that I show you positive of what I'm permitting or what I'm giving off, I wouldn't be none of this without giving thanks to higher energies that don't rest inside my stupid ass brain. Because give it up to me, I be trying to get me a steak and cheese sandwich and some pussy, a blunt and some Hennessy, and call it a night. Steak and cheese with onions, please. Some mayonnaise. Toast the bun. Cut it in half. Throw some bell peppers on top for some spice. Give a damn about nothing. Cut on Law and Order. I'll sit and smoke and watch Law. Like, I could be ignorant. I could be the most godforsaken nigga on the planet, but I was fortunate enough to open my mind and heart to consciousness, and it's not my consciousness. It's not mine. I don't own it. I don't possess it. It don't exist in my body. It is an organism that we have access to. We all have access to, but my nigga, you will not access it if you dealing with your trauma, trying to show up for these niggas on Instagram and trying to be your best person in the life, and you're not even understanding the purpose or the surroundings or nothing. You just want shit. You want to have the biggest house in prison. You want to have the most friends in prison. You want to be the poppinest person in prison. And the idea is not to do that. The idea is to get out. And once you get out, I don't know, like, well, what is you going to do out in nature? How is nature? Like, I don't fucking know. But I know that this was created before a nigga said, you know what? Let's build a mall. Let's build a doctor's office. and give people fake pills and placebos, and let's build a tire store over here. Let's build a projects. Let's build skyscraper. Like, you know, let's just build shit. I just want to go to spots where that just not happening. And give thanks, because I could live in a world where that's not even the idea of going to Serpent Mound is just like, I just can't do it because it's the fucking Serpent Mound Hotel, an attraction and casino now. You understand what I'm saying? And I hope this message really resonated with one person to feel like, man, it's not necessarily about me trying to be the best person that I can be, but it's for me to really clear my consciousness, to really develop my soul, and to really connect. Nothing brings me more joy than to connect with each and every one of you. And I connect with each and every one of you. Y'all hit me up. I know exactly what's going on. Everything that I have with people is a connection. It's not an attachment. It's through deep love and through deep caring. And the problem with those connections, the limits that I have with people, is that I cannot love them more than they can love themselves. It's frustrating. Because I know exactly what you need to do. You need to let that nigga go. You need to walk away. You need to start developing your talents. You need to sing more. You need to dance more. Take a dance class. Take a singing class. Get on YouTube. Learn how to make beats. Take a piano class. Like, tap into your inner childhood. I know exactly what you need to do. But if you ain't gonna do it, it don't really matter. And that's the challenge. That's the wall. So with this conversation, I'm trying to either climb over that wall, bust that wall open, and allow more people into this consciousness so we can have real development. I'm not gonna have one of these conscious channels that every time a fucking celebrity fucking burp and have a porno, these conscious niggas run into having a different synopsis on why they're wrong and why they're right and all of this crazy shit. We are important. We are the stars. We are in control of our destiny, and it's very much important for us to understand that. So this is actually just the introduction. I got way more to talk about, but I just kind of wanted to set it up. But my wife know where I'm trying to go with this whole trauma thing, but I can't just go into the whole thing, you know, about what our current reality is and what we're able to do until we deal with this trauma. So let's deal with this. Let this sit here for a second. The next time I'll be on this video, I'll be talking about the new moon in Virgo. And then you'll be like, the new moon is in Aries. But I'm going to be talking about the new moon in Virgo April 5th, but the video is going to be before April 5th. But I wanted to bring people's attention to a product that my wife just literally just made. Just got it out the little thingamajiggy she makes these in. But the idea was, for our magical purposes, was, I know, I'm just prefacing it before I show y'all. I want to use these candles to manifest a motto or a face of my clothing brand, like a real live model, somebody that's like a real live influencer. So I'm gonna use these, and I know y'all probably could use these to manifest you a little boot thing or something. She got a nice little booty though. But yeah, my wife made these, and she said these are gonna be on the site Friday. Yeah, she's gonna put these on the site. But if interested, be sure to email her. The email is gonna be on the website, altercreations.net. Any kind of specific personal projects that you want her to do that's not on the site but you interested, like I need a candle for this particular purpose and intention, she'll put you together with the proper herbs. But these candles, Oh, we got another one too. This is the man and the woman. She made these. I don't know how much she's selling. How much you know? How much you selling them for? She said $10 for these. $10. And the skull is 15. This is an ancestor skull. Like for me, none of my altars do not have a skull. I think the skull is just one of those things. And it's like skulls are creepy, skulls are scary. My nigga, what is your cranium made out of? Do you have a skull or not? Like, it's just the human body, and it's just a representation of the ancestors. And even more of an ancestor, you are an ancestor. So if you take the you away from skull and put an I in there, you have skill. So we work with the skulls to develop our skills. And my wife's proficiency in herbs and my proficiency in the studies of astrology, like, our workings with skulls, it really kind of ties into that. And our connection with the ancestors is just super strong. But a lot of it is just kind of channeling them through skulls. I can pull up about 3 or 4 skulls that I can just see around in my eyes sight. So altercreations.net, that's just a little promo. We gotta kind of promote ourselves, put ourselves out there, because we are legit serious about raising our family and showing our boys more than gotta go to work, son, and all of that. We want to show our children that we could, do it ourselves. And so with that being said, we can't do it completely by ourselves. We need to learn to work with other people, and that's kind of what we've been opened up to, and that's what we're kind of doing. So anybody know of any festivals around the country or anything like that, be sure to email us. Be sure to check out the site altercreations.net. Hit that contact link, email us. But you can always email me at hoodmystic@gmail.com. www.hoodmystic.com also has the link. But yeah, I think that we need to be comfortable as black people to learn how to be in commerce with each other, and learn how to promote ourselves, learn how to sell ourselves, learn how to brand ourselves, because like, we depend on these companies to support us, and these companies will fire us, but we have all the ideas, ingenuity. We can work together and create all types of things, like, but you just got to clear that trauma, and so you can be in that space to see, okay, what can I bring to the table instead of what can I eat off the table. And with that mentality, all things are possible. So I just want to thank y'all for taking some time out of your day to listen to me ramble about my spiritual musings and things of that nature. This is something that it really means something to me, and the fact that it means something to me doesn't mean that it's gonna mean something to you. But if you connect with this, then you mean something to me too. So be sure to reach out to me, hoodmystic@gmail.com. www.hoodmystic.com is the website. Follow me on Snapchat, send me a message, send me a little bitmoji or something, with you in the bed, in the clouds or something. I just like that. Snapchat, The Hood Mystic. Instagram, of course, The Hood Mystic. And with that being said, we signing out. Altercreations.net, altercreations.net, altercreations.net. Peace.